Okay, back. Going on here, we've got lots of things going on. As you see, it's a little bit dark in here. I'm sorry. The lights, I don't know. I'm the only one in the building, so um, here we are. So hopefully we can get everybody on board here. Got a little bit of a late start due to some internet issues. I'm not exactly sure why things are not sharing correctly either. Well, this is unfortunate. Alrighty. Okay, so we will get by with what we got by. So hopefully people will find us here on this one. And we will continue on. So, check each camera. Good. All right. So, today on Kung Fu, we will be going over a little bit of an expansion of Don P. Show. And in that way, we will kind of get a little bit more stuff going there. Okay, so we will quickly go through. Hopefully everything will stay up and running as I leave the deck, as it were. Make this a little bit better. Okay. Okay, so the technique we're talking about is the basic arm, upper body coordination exercise that we use. A lot, it's associated with Iqua, right? And it forms the kind of biomechanical base of Master Tongbe, of Pipo Zhang, of a fair amount of martial arts. So it's a very good exercise. It's we've gone over it before, so I won't belabor it there, but we're going to take it here a little bit further. So let's see what I can do as far as again, I apologize for the light. There's nothing much I seem to do about it, but we'll try just going here first. Okay, so we are going to start. Well, let's just start off with the stationary. So I'll go through the stationary here again. We're going to start off. Okay. Now, from here, step out. Step out. 1, 2. So that's just a demonstration, nice and easy. Always start off nice and easy. We want nice fluid movement, not a whole lot of binding. We don't want to force our way through this, right? The tips that we have to think about before we move in here is the body. When I'm moving the body, that's what's moving the arms. So I'm doing that. All right? Okay. So, yes, there is shoulder involved, but it's from a more of a mobility standpoint, right? We don't want to be putting a whole lot of force in there. We want to keep the joint nice and open, nice and loose, so that we can move without fear of injury, binding up, so it doesn't become too precarious for us. Okay, so now when we're doing that, we have this turn, right? The gunbei, as we turn our back like that to the opponent, right? In real life, if we're in Sanda or something like that, just to fade back, right? But whatever. When we hear we're going up using those concepts of two, and using that as our kind of like our wind up. Okay. But what's happening in the rest of the body is important, right? As I go up, right, I'm expanding out. I can inhale, and then right? Follow yourself up. Get small. So this concept of getting small and then getting big is kind of key. That will bring us to our next little bit. So now we're going to add some steps. I'm going to take this off because it's going to be warm. But so the steps, we have a few different kinds. We start off with something called shun. This means same side. So we're going to be looking at whatever leg is forward, that's the hand that's forward. At the end, I'll show you where that comes from. Okay, so how do we take this stationary stance, start moving it forward? Well, obviously, we're going to have to switch sides, right? In order to switch sides, we should switch our stance, flip our pelvis, turn it to the opposite direction. And, of course, that way, we'll be turning. So, this motion, we're going to go a little further, and then we're going to kind of continue through. So, we're also going to use some of those stances. So, first one, gunbei, and from up and over, down Kisho, we're going to continue to turn, come down, and cross the shin, and step out, forward into a kind of, it's kind of a skewed mabu. So you're in mabu, you can open up one foot, right? You can open up one foot like this, and then we're reaching forward here. The hands are going here. We've got our tun, okay? This, you can think about it scooping up somebody's leg in preparation for a throw, like a fireman's carry, something of that nature. Okay, So start over here. 1. Here. 2. That's the idea. I don't have anybody to follow me with the camera, so. Okay. We'll keep going here. So, I don't know if the stream is getting out there. I don't see anybody. Hopefully this will record okay. And okay. Okay, so I guess we are getting out there. We will continue. Okay, so yeah, I'm just not getting any updates. Okay, all right, so what we're basically doing here, going through slow here, boom, down, okay? Okay. Now, accentuating the up and down motion of it is going to, of course, be good for it. So when we're going through here, I'm trying to keep it a little tight because I'm trying to stay in the frame, but right, we try to lift it up, bring it down, right, so that that chop has our whole body behind us. Okay. Once we're down there, we have our legs loaded. We don't have to worry too much about the power here, because the power is really coming from our change in stance and the change in position of our shoulders, right? Because we're going from here, stepping out there. And if somebody's standing there, I'm pressing on their hip with my shoulder. I can scoop the knee right in that way, and so there's all those kinds of uses for it as well. Okay. So, if you are used to staying in a closed area, when you first get to start to move around, definitely get you winded. As you see, I've come here to hijack a little space from the training hall. Well, nobody is here. So, and generally speaking, the internet is great. I don't know what happened today. So, okay, so that's Dampisho Shunbu, right? Kind of in a nutshell. Not going into a great amount of detail. When you practice, it's a good way to practice your Xiabu, just twisting back and down through it, using that as your arm motion. So if I'm going through here like this, twist, back and forth, like that. Yeah. Okay? So that's kind of like arresting that motion, right? We've got, right? Now again, real life, where's that going to come out? We're probably not going to be doing long arm chops. We could, depending on what we're doing, right? But more often than not, you're going to be using this type of body mechanic when throwing hooks and other open chain kind of punches, right? That, right? So that's what we're kind of doing here. We're taking the open chain, which is the swinging, we're stopping it, and kind of redirecting it there. If I had a partner, it would be easy to kind of show that dynamic of the block. There, right here. Right. With your footwork, right? Shabu can be likened to doing boxers' turns and footwork like that. Boxing footwork is very similar to that, right? You're just not dropping down into the knee position. Okay, so let's switch gears. Let's still stay with Dampisho. Now there's another way, Abu, which means crossed, right? So when you stop here, boom, you're coming through crossed. We're going to set that to the side. The next one we're going to do, though, is going to use the open chain. We're going to try to extend it. Okay, so we're going to try to keep our hands moving through more of the exercise. Whereas here, we're trying to whip them into positions. Right? Right. But now we're going to kind of move through them. Right? So we call this Len Huan. Chinese Len Huan means linked rings, and it just means anything that is continuous. Right? So if you ever see Len Huan blank, it means linked or continuously linked pieces of, right? So Len Huan Chuan, continuously linked boxing. So this is Dampisho Len Huan. So starts off fairly similar, or fairly familiar. You do our eight, you go 1. We're going to go back, 2. Now here, we're going to go up and over, but then we're going to step around with this with this hand. This is then going to come down here, up, 1, 2. Again, up, over, down, 1, 2. Okay. Again, up, over, 1, 2. Okay. So, a little tricky. Start from this side so you can see it. Here. 1, 2. Here. 1, 2. Okay. So, there you kind of see the stuff happening through the shoulder, right? Kind of, and trying to get it so that it's totally limp. I'll do it here very, very continuously, focusing on smoothness rather than extension and all that, just so you can see how easy it can flow, right? So, there we go with that. Okay. I'll go through a little bit more detail here, but if anybody has any questions, comments, or anything, of course, throw them in the chat. Looks like we have a couple of viewers, so keep checking the social media as well. Okay. Whew. So, definitely going to stick around for 10 minutes and do more forms for some more cardio. Get that back up. I'm starting to get the quarantine syndrome here. Okay, so if you have limited ability to rotate your shoulders, can you do smaller arm motions? So, if you mean that you cannot move your arm to this position, right here. So this is pretty much as far as your arm goes. All right, now, there are many reasons why somebody would not be able to do that. If you've had a previous shoulder injury, if it can be just kind of like a mechanical thing, having gone into that position for a very long time, it's something that's neglected. That's one of the reasons to do this type of exercise, to not only work on these things, but to kind of screen people to see. Because if you have a weakness here in the shoulder, that's a very, very serious weakness. It should be attended to before you really do anything with any type of martial art. Really try to rehab that shoulder. That's what you would do here. And you would probably use this exercise to a lot of degree. Now, what I mean by your arm essentially just does this. It's because, again, most of what's happening is happening in the body. All you're doing is relaxing your shoulder. So if I put this arm behind my back, and I just swing it back and forth. Right. That's kind of the idea. Now what's important is you have to be able to bring this up to this position without raising this. Okay? So a common problem is when something comes up, they shrug their shoulder up like this. Okay? And what that's really doing is your scapula is coming with your arm. Okay? You want to keep it down. Okay? So if you have problems going with that range of motion with your shoulder, the first thing you should do is try to attend to getting some of that mobility back, if not all of it back. It's not impossible. I've seen people come back from horrendous shoulder injuries that you'd think they'd never come back from, but they did. So it just takes patience and all that. Now, I can't give specific exercises or advice for you who's asking the question, because I do not know you. I'm not looking into you. I can't do that. I can only urge you to go see a professional in that regard if you have not already. Now, things to do with the shoulder. Right? Now, sometimes these muscles here, underneath the armpit, the lats, some of the rotator cuff muscles, some of the other muscles that attach to your chest, and that kind of thing, will they won't let go. So when you lift up, they stay tight, and then what they'll do is they'll just kind of bring all of this up. So in order for your body to lift its arm up to that level, it has to go and move the whole thing up there, right? So go to where you can. Find where your limit is, right? Now, this is assuming you do not have an injury or something that this is contraindicated by, right? But you're going to go up to that position, right? Make a fist, squeeze your fist, and relax it. Try to go a little bit further. Do that over and over again. You can start to see some things that's for, so there's that. Now, if you're just a regular person and you have tightness in the shoulders, because modern day society creates a specific posture, right? It's this kind of hunched over, elbows in. We're either driving, typing on a keyboard, eating, all of these positions where we're kind of hunched over here. This is not Tun. Okay? This is you are collapsed. Right? So Tun is active. Right? In, out. But so we get into this thing. Now, that will create tightness in through the chest. It will create tightness through the rotator cuffs, through the shoulders, the trapezius, through the lats. All of that is what connects your shoulders to everything else. So if you lack mobility in that way, you have to kind of work through there. The positions we do, right, is keeping the shoulder down, but like slipping it into the back pocket, right? Now, you can do these exercises if you just do this, kind of natural. If that's what your arm does, okay, right? Try to get it to go up and over. You're essentially bringing it to here, turning, and then bringing it down. And then this is coordinated here, up, here, and then bringing it down. You see? So that's the basic view. Getting your shoulders set is a very good thing. It can really open up your world as far as physical movement goes. You take care of your shoulders. Very, very important stuff. There are other things that you can do. I hesitate to give out too much, simply because I don't know what people's issues are. But again, if you have no issues, if you're just kind of returning to it, these are just habits of yours, right? You take these very, stretch, right? Lift up your hands, see how close your ears are to your shoulders, and then try to drop your shoulders down. So if I get closer to the camera, you start with your shoulders up like this, and then you bring them down, okay? So keeping your hands straight up in the air, like this, you basically stick out your chest. Can you do that? All right? If you can, then congratulations, you now have the prerequisite ability to swing your arm around. Anything like that. The smaller circles are going to come from the bigger circles. So we want to get the big circles first. Right? They're the easiest for our bodies to manage. They're the easiest for our bodies to keep track of. Right? But again, these are two strategies where we can take this very long, very large movement and control it. Either we can keep it going, or we can stop it, punctuate it, right, and move on. Either way, right, you've got some very dynamic stuff going. Now you see this again pop up all over the place. In the Tantui, you see this very thing. Continuing on. Out, kick. So this motion, right? It's something that you just want to cultivate and you want to continually work on, right? Using Dam Kisho as your guide, you have your Gunbei, you have these over there. Now with the walking, you have something that you can move through space, right? Both ways. And again, you see, very easy, right? Not so much effort, right? These exercises, to me, feel inherently good, right? Like when you do them, it's fun, like when you were a kid, swinging your arms around like a windmill, like a helicopter, right? The feeling that you get in your body afterward makes you feel good, right? As I'm throwing my arm out here, everything whose job it is to hold that shoulder in place is working extra hard, right? You get the most benefit in the eccentric phase of your muscle, right? And then it's elongated. The deceleration phase, right? We talk about this a lot because deceleration is something that is often completely neglected in athletic training, if not completely sorely underused. because using deceleration or eccentric type training, you can gain a lot of gains that you wouldn't be able to through concentric training, which means the muscle is shorter. So it's your basic acceleration type of things: lifting, running, pushing, pulling. Punching is just one aspect of it, right? I throw out a strike, I have to be able to react after that strike either does what it's supposed to. If I throw that strike and it does what it's supposed to, it connects, then I've got another one coming and we can go through that, right? Okay, I get that jab in, another one's coming, whatever. Okay, what if it misses? Boom, I got to be able to be ready to defend, right? I got to be able to change levels, right? If I'm here, you have to be able to do that kind of stuff. Doing it in this kind of exaggerated way just raises the bar physically, right? Like I said, I'm going to go do my forms after we get off here, through here, because I haven't had this much space to do them in. I've been doing these versions of them that are small, right? And so the way my body expends energy is now different, right? Because of inactivity or relative inactivity of quarantine. So that's what everybody is kind of going through. I'm hoping people are finding some of these good. Understand that when you get back out there, there will be some tax to pay, as it were. Not necessarily going to be, unless you're in a place that's lucky, you have a lot of space outside. But then again, without organized practice and all that kind of stuff, a lot of the times we go at a slower pace. So you need to keep that all in mind. All right, let's take one more look on the interwebs. Let's see what we got. Don't see anything yet. Okay. All right, so I guess we'll kind of sum up. Let me run through a little bit of here. So we've got our Sunbu walking donkey show. We've got our stationary, of course, and we've got our Renhua continuously linked. Okay. So remember here, Bei, cross. Okay. Renhua. So, two other permutations of one exercise. There are other permutations out there that will come up through the practice of it, as it were. So, study that well. Go through it. Try to feel body movements, the things that it's kind of trying to teach you about movement and that kind of thing. And hopefully it will work its magic. Not hopefully, it will work its magic. If you're dedicated to it, right? The magic, of course, comes from us. Right? We put the magic in. These are just the movements that we go through, right? For us to do the magic, right? But you have to do the magic. All right. Well, I will end it here for today. I I apologize for the technical glitches at the beginning, but that is to be expected in this day and age, as it were. So no harm, no foul. But thank you all for tuning in. For those of you who are watching right now, for those of you who are tuning in later, I hope it has some valuable stuff in there, as bumpy as it was a ride. Other than that, we will see you tomorrow for Sword Lab. Stay safe and healthy. Wash those hands. Patience, practice, perseverance. Happy sabering.